Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back to another video. In this video, I'll be doing an overview of, well, as you can see here, this very small box. It's going to be Batman and the Batmobile. This is going to be the Amazon exclusive gold label. And that's me being sarcastic because this thing is huge. And so it does not fit, as you can see on my table. But don't worry about it. I'll take a picture of the box. As always, I'll be talking about the figure and vehicle itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date, watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box as best as I can. So here's the front of the box. It shows gold label, right? The picture of the vehicle and the size of it. The top, the same thing. The side, the other side. Here's the back of it. Alright, just for showing you guys, because I know some of you like to keep things in the box, so there you go. Here is the bottom. Not much to it. You can see right there. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure and vehicle, well, outside the box. Unfortunately, this particular combo set does not come with a card, which is a bit misleading because in the images Amazon for this particular set, or 2-pack, it does show cards, but it doesn't come with a card, so I don't know what's going on, but it's all good nonetheless. It does come with a puck, and that's pretty much it. Now let's take a look at the figure itself in terms of the articulation. So, alright, there we go. Left, right, up, down, shoulder articulation, bicep, elbows, wrist. I'm trying to figure out how is it. Okay, there's the wrist, torso, which is actually pretty darn good. Look at that. Look at that torso. And he has an 8-pack. Look at that. Damn, he definitely does sit-ups. And, of course, swivel as well, too. So in terms of the upper body articulation, it's actually really good, especially the torso. Let's do the leg articulation. Knees, it's a little stiff here on the knees, but it's fine. Ankles. Toes. I know, there you go. Toes as well, too. So lower body articulation, it's good as always with McFarlane. Now let's talk about this figure. We'll start off with the head sculpture design. It looks really, really nice. I don't understand the hate. People were hating on this figure, saying this does not look like him. I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but I mean, for the price, for what you're getting, it doesn't look horrible. It looks good. The sculpture design, very clean looking Batman cowl. You got that face sculpture design. The paint looks nice. Very painted lips on there. A little bit of gloss with the light purple. And the skin tone paint looks really nice. You got the painted eyes. Again, very, very nice, very clean looking Batman cowl and head sculpture. I really, really like it. In terms of the arm sculpture design, not much to it. Looks like there's some kind of sculpture, like a little line here. I don't know if my camera can pick it up, but you can see that right there. Very subtle. It could just be nothing really, to be honest with you. But there's something there. But in terms of sculpture design, there isn't that much. Big shoulder, bicep, and tricep. Then you got right here on the gauntlet as well, too. Very nice spiky gauntlet. That looks nice. Sculpture design there on the gauntlet. Then you got the fist, right? You got the little sculpture design here on the fist, as you can see right there. And then you have the center torso. Very defined abdomen, like I said. Look at the abdomen. Then you got the Batman logo. Looks nice, nice and gold, and looks really, really nice when you have light on it. Then you have the other arm. And I don't understand why this didn't come with an open fist, so Batman or Michael Keaton can actually grab the steering wheel because it's closed fist. It's not a big deal, but something that I noticed is like, if he's going to be in the vehicle, wouldn't you want open fist so you can grab onto something? But it's all good nonetheless, though. And so, overall, I gotta say the upper body looks really, really nice. Very similar to, of course, the Michael Keaton Batman from the 1989 film. Again, it looks really nice. In terms of sculpture design, there really isn't that much. I mean, just for the torso, which is all really muscle tone. But apart from that, it's a clean looking Batman. And I gotta say, McFarlane nailed it. And for the price what you're getting, I think it looks really, really good. Clean looking, yes, but again, not much to it. But again, it looks really nice though. Here we have the back piece on here. There's not much going on in terms of sculpture. You got a hole here for you know, for the regular cape one, which maybe they may be making. And of course, it does have that cloth cape, which is similar to the previous one from the Flash one. Not much to it. You got some kind of design here underneath, but in this side, it just looks like that. And so, again, the upper body on this figure looks really, really nice. Very clean looking, as mentioned. And I gotta say, McFarlane did a really good job with this figure, and I'm really liking it. Then you got the utility belt. Very simple design. Nice bright gold, similar to the Batman logo. And that's pretty much it. Very simple design in terms of the belt. Now, one thing that people have talked about is the actual Batman logo is not 100% accurate to the Michael Keaton one. And technically, they're somewhat correct, but I mean, come on. Like, really? If you want, like, 100% accurate, you might have to go to, like, Hot Toys type of level figures. Because those figures have more 100% accurate, but I mean, they do cost a lot more. And so for the price of what you're getting for this figure, like, I'm okay with the price. I'm okay having it a little bit off, because at the end of the day, it's an affordable figure and it fits my price range, so I don't really care if it's not 100% accurate. But overall, the upper body, I gotta say, looks really nice, similar to the movie. Again, not 100% accurate, but I don't care. It looks fantastic. You got that nice cloth cape. And I am really digging it, especially for the price. I'm mentioning the price because, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. Take a look at the lower body. The lower body is pretty much plain looking. Got some thigh muscle on there. The boots on there look nice. A little bit different than the previous one, which I'll compare it in a bit. But little sculpture design's a little bit different, just plain black. It does have the sculpture design on the feet on there. Looks nice. Very sculpture design there. More sculpture design here on the side, which looks cool. Then you got the back of it. There we go. The back of it. You can see sculpture design. Not much to it. There's something. And he does somewhat squat, so yeah, it's okay. And in terms of the back muscles, there's really not much to it. So the lower body is clean, plain looking. Just the boots have some sculpture design. But that's how he looks like. So it's similar to the movie. So we can't say too much about it. And the knees have this just matte black knee pads on there. And so overall, the figure itself, I gotta say, it looks really, really nice. Very simple sculpture design, yes. But the color and sculpture looks very similar to the Batman 89, as mentioned. And so overall, as a complete package, I gotta say, McFarlane did a really good job with this figure, and I am happy I got one. I'll talk about that in a bit, why I say I got one, because, man, these are hard to find now. But anyways, though, overall, I gotta say, the figure looks fantastic, and yes, definitely get one, and I am loving it. Now, let's compare the Batmobiles. I'll start off with the articulation of the Batmobile. The wheels do articulate, they move, and there's just one solid piece. So when you move one tire, they move both. Same thing with the back as well too. And there is articulation. You press this button right here, and the canopy opens, just like so. And you can see inside. And that's pretty much it in terms of the articulation on this particular vehicle. Now, I did a really in-depth overview of the particular vehicle in terms of the size dimension. I have a link to it, so if you want to know in terms of the actual size and length, definitely check out the video, but I'll definitely do an overview of this particular vehicle right now. So, there's the wheel on there. Looks nice. Very clean looking, right? I do like the Batman logo on there. Looks clean. Bright and silver. Then you got more sculpture design here as well, too. Actually, I did notice the tires have little dots in it. It's pretty cool. Then you got whatever that is. I don't know, these pipes and everything, which look nice. They got a huge intake port, I'm assuming. Then you got the back tire on there. And of course the back. Looks really, really nice. And then the top part of it, you got this big turbine on here. More sculpture design there as well. You got little sculpture design there, which I have no idea what that does. But it looks clean though. Very sculpture design there. Then you do have this kind of airport on here. You can see. For a particular vehicle. Then the back. I'm assuming this is the vents for whatever it is. Then you have here, well, I'll show you image here in terms of the tail lights. You got the 4 pipes on there. Then you got the actual exhaust port, and then you have the brake lights on the back, as mentioned. And the bottom, I'll show you guys the bottom. The bottom is very clean, plain looking, not much to it. Batman logo, and that's pretty much it in terms of the sculpture design of the particular vehicle. And it's just the exterior. The interior part, you guys can see right there. I'll have some images, like I said, so you guys can see more in detail how it looks inside. But it's pretty much identical to the previous one, the one that came off of the Flash movie wave. It's just that the exterior paint is going to be different. But apart from that, though, like I said, in terms of the difference between this one and this one, it's going to be the paint. Obviously, the obvious one is going to be the glossy one. The Flash movie wave, very glossy. This one, obviously, is more matte. Another thing that I like about this one compared to this one, it's going to be the canopy. I dislike. I don't understand why McFarlane did this. Look at this. Black gloss and then like a dark gray canopy. And I thought, you know what? Maybe in the film, it's going to give explanation. Maybe Michael Keaton's going to drive it. Somehow he breaks it and he puts another one, like I don't know, something. I saw the film. It does not make sense to me why this is gray. Whatever, to each their own. But McFarlane did that. So that's another obvious thing that I noticed. Another thing too is going to be the paint you can see on the actual wheels itself. They're different. Sculpture design, they are identical, but the paint's going to be different. Another thing that's different too, well, not different, but paint, it's going to be this whole piping right here. This is more chrome. This has that kind of metallic, not metallic, but metal look to it. It has some kind of shadowing to it, and not as bright compared to this one. The gold label one is more matte compared to the glossy one from the Flash movie wave. Everything else, like I said, is pretty much identical. They're just different colors. And same thing with the interior. The interior is going to be the same thing. Not much to it. In terms of the interior, it's going to be identical. And again, I'll have some images. You guys can see it. But like I said, the main difference is going to be the paint. With that said, I definitely prefer the Amazon exclusive one because it resembles more from the Michael Keaton Batman film. But also, as much as I like the glossy, it is a fingerprint magnet and of course dust magnet. You can definitely see the dust. The reason I like the Amazon exclusive one is because, well, it all matches, meaning the canopy matches to the actual rest of the car. Again, I don't know why McFarlane did the whole gray canopy, the Flash one, whatever. But like I said, it's just a paint difference. And so, yes, I prefer the Amazon exclusive one compared to the Flash one, as mentioned, because of the paint and more similar to the film, but also it just looks better overall. The glossy one is cool, but I hate the whole canopy thing. I gave McFarlane benefit of the doubt, saw the film, doesn't make sense to me. Why the heck is that gray as opposed to black gloss? I don't know, can't answer that question, but it is what it is. So overall, the question is it actually really worth it? Should you go out and get this figure, or this set I should say? Definitely recommend getting it. Now throughout the whole video, I did mention about the price. The price for this particular set or 2-pack, which is the vehicle and the figure itself, is $75. And so for that price, heck yeah, that's a fantastic deal. Because if you break it down, the figure itself probably costs around 20 bucks. The vehicle costs around 60 bucks. And you're actually getting these two for $5 cheaper. On top of that, you're getting a more accurate from the Batman 89 film. Come on, that is a fantastic deal. And like I said, you save yourself $5 and it's more accurate to the Michael Keaton version that we want. I think it's a fantastic deal. And definitely get one before they're gone, which actually are gone. And that's what I wanted to talk about as well too, in terms of the pricing. Because again, the retail is $75. And for that price, heck yeah. Now, the problem with this set right now is that it's actually been sold out. And there's been some reports that apparently some people have been getting theirs canceled, and that is unfortunate because, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. People have been essentially reselling this entire set for double, even triple the amount. And so, if you were to ask me, Manda, what would be the most that I personally would pay? Honestly, the most that I would personally pay is $100 shipped. That's it. Anything else more than that, I honestly don't think it's actually really worth it. I know some of you are going to come down on me, thumbs down the video, talk shit, say all this stuff about me hating on this, and I don't hate it. I love this particular vehicle. I love this particular figure. but I personally would not want to pay more than $100 shipped. Part of me is going to be happy the fact that I did get one, but the rest of me is going to be thinking, yeah, I got it to my collection, but I paid $50 over retail, or $100 over retail, $200 over retail, and so I honestly don't think it's really worth it. So apart from the price, so what I think about this whole entire set, easily a thumbs up for me. Definitely get one, but as I mentioned, do not overpay. The max that I personally would pay, as mentioned, is $100 shipped. Anything above that, I honestly think it's really worth it. As much as I like this whole entire piece or 2-pack, and I love it, trust me, I do, but I wouldn't want to be overpaying. For me, I don't think it's really worth overpaying that much. Here we have Batman, Michael Keaton from the Flash movie wave, and of course, the Amazon exclusive, Batman 89 one. And yes, this one looks far better compared to this one. Don't get me wrong, I like this one. It looks cool, it looks clean, but something about the suit, it just looks too plain and very modernized, if that makes sense. This one, something about it, when you look at it, it just grabs your attention, and even though it's simple design, but it looks good overall. I don't know, maybe it's just the nostalgia in me, but I like this one more compared to this one. And there are some differences, of course, going to be the chest plate, the Batman logo. The head sculpture design is slightly different. There is some similarities, but there is some differences. So you can see, of course, the Batman logo is going to be different. And of course, the boot itself is going to be different too. In terms of the paint, this one has this kind of green paint on it, which I don't understand why McFarlane went with that. I gave McFarlane the benefit of the doubt. I thought maybe something to do with Kryptonians or something, but no, it's just, why is it painted green? To each their own, and as you can see here, the boot design is different on the Michael Keaton one. So there is some differences. It's not just a repaint. There is differences, as you can see. And of course, the big difference is going to be the abdomen. So look at the abdomen. All defined. This one's just there. And of course, the utility belt. This one is different and painted as well too. Yes, this is a different sculpture design figure. So keep that in mind. Because I've seen people talk about, oh, it's just a repaint. It really isn't, as you can see. So here we have both Michael Keaton Batmans. Here we have Michael Keaton unmasked version. It's going to be similar to the masked one. It's just going to be, well, unmasked one. A big difference, though, is it going to be this piece right here. The masked one has this kind of piece right here, similar to this one right here, has this kind of like design right here. Unmasked one does not have that. But apart from that, it's identical to the masked one. It's a cool looking figure, but I prefer the masked version. Here we have Christian Bale next to Michael Keaton. Fantastic looking Batman figure. Really good sculpture design. The paint. This paint on the utility belt looks magnificent. Just something about it, when you have a light on it, it just grabs your attention. This one looks much better compared to this one. Don't get me wrong, I like both utility belts, but something about that paint, I don't know what it is. Just, it looks premium, but obviously it's not, because, well, $20. And the sculpture design is just top notch. And of course, the Michael Keaton one, more classic one. And I'm sorry, I'm going to offend a lot of people, but I don't care. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Out of these two, which one do I prefer? I'm going to go for this one, just because of the sculpture design, the detail and paint. This one I like. Trust me, I do like this one a lot. But man, Christian Bale figure just looks beautiful, man. I am so glad I got one. And more importantly, I am excited to hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully I can get the cloth one, the 6-pack Batman. Here we have the Ben Affleck Batman from the Justice League movie wave, and of course Michael Keaton. Man, really good sculpture design figure. Like I said in the video for this particular figure, I'll say it again, definitely get one now before they're gone, because I've seen people purchasing this figure for like over retail for like $30-40. So again, get this one now before they're gone. Good looking sculpture design figure, very detailed. Just everything about this figure just looks great. But if you were to ask me which should I prefer of these two, I'm going to go for the Michael Keaton one. Because as much as I like this one, just something about it doesn't really pop. Like when you look up close, you see all the detail. But from a distance, it just kind of blends in with other Batman figures. This one, up close, not as detailed as this. But from a distance, something about this one, it just grabs your attention. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but out of these two, I would prefer the Michael Keaton one compared to the Ben Affleck one. Here we have the most recent Batman. It's going to be Robert Pattinson next to Will, Michael Keaton Batman. Really good sculpture design on this particular figure for Robert Pattinson. It looks good, very detailed. Unfortunately, it does have the old school joints, which I don't like from McFarlane. They're fine, but something about it is just kind of eh. Good looking sculpture design figure. And yes, before anyone comments, I know I got the wrong one. I got the one with the actual cowl folded back, and obviously the torso is incorrect. I should probably get a corrected version of this figure before they're expensive. So, anyway, here we have the Robert Pattinson one next to Michael Keaton, and similar to the Ben Affleck one, I'll say it here again. Something about this one just grabs your attention. Like, when you look up close, you'll see, yeah, this one looks way better. Look at all that detail. But from a distance, this one just stands out. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So let me know in the comment section if you guys can agree with me or see what I'm referring to regarding having these two side by side. And from a distance, this one looks much better. But nonetheless, though, here we have Pattinson next to, well, Michael Keaton. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on this figure and vehicle? Do you purchase this figure and vehicle? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of the Amazon exclusive gold label 2-pack that includes the Michael Keaton Batman and the Michael Keaton Batmobile. And on to the next one.